I do apologize right off the bat. It's a Cypher Slacker, and I think my neighbor is currently cutting their grass. So if you hear anything like that, I do apologize. This is really the only time I had to film. So I just want to kind of roll through this. And we are talking about Odon Raw. This is the extended deck profile, and I'm going to give you the tips and tricks how to play this thing and really have a good old time playing an anime-based deck. So first off, you play 3 copies of the Winged Dragon of Raw. Now, when I mean that, I mean you play 1 of each of its forms. You do not need more than 1 because you don't really want to draw them going first. Going second, I am working on a side deck that runs 2 of this and then a bunch of board breakers. But you don't really want to draw this card, and you don't really want to draw this card because you're going to banish this off of this card. Okay. So the plan here is to get some sort of access to Merciless Scorpion Circuit, summon him out, you banish the Raw from either hand or deck, and then you get to this next card, which is called Defense of the Temple. Okay. Now you either get to this on your turn or your first turn, or you can get to it on your second turn, depending on what you draw. But you want to get to this because when you banish this card from the grave, it searches you this. Now, if you don't know what this does, this says pay half your LP, tribute a monster, special summon Raw. So inside Odion, we have a direct link to Raw. Now, obviously, I feel like this is completely slept on because it's Raw. I mean, it's not broken, but it's a way to play the God cards in an anime-based deck the way that this was supposed to be played. I mean, like, we have a whole episode of Odion, playing the Trap Hell stuff and then trying to summon Raw because Merrick wanted him to. Okay, Merrick didn't want to break his cover. He wanted to remain, I think his name was Namu is what he was going by. He didn't want to break his cover, and he wanted everyone to think that Odion was Merrick, so he told him to summon Raw. And then Raw gets mad, and that's what happens in the picture of this card. To me, this is like the ultimate anime deck, and that's why I'm playing it this way. So that's my justification. But looking at it, you only need 1 of each, because when you play more than 1 in this deck, these become clunky. You don't want to see this card because you want to be able to send it to the graveyard from your deck, because it specifically says deck, which I don't know why I wouldn't say hand or deck, but whatever. This card here facilitates sending him to the graveyard and then popping the Raw on your field to then summon him out. So that is why I'm playing, a good majority of these cards. I am playing Raw Engine inside the deck because I believe that, 1, it's just really fun to resolve. This guy is actually a really good going second card because it tributes 3 monsters. If you end up going first, and then you don't really draw well, you can scoop side out, put 3 copies of him in, and then 3 copies of this. You then have like a 60-something% chance to crack those, and then you totally catch your opponent off guard. All right, so Anubis, the Last Judge, at 3. I think that one's pretty mandatory. That's pretty standard even in like a competitive version. In a more competitive version, you're going to see this card at probably 1 to 2. I like it at 3. Oh, where did it go? My bad. I like this card at 3 because, I think it's a better piece than a lot of people are giving it credit for. I do think that one day we'll get a way to special summon this card from the deck, ignoring its summoning conditions, because obviously it would need to. But I think that one day we'll get some sort of like, if we ever get Animation Chronicles again, we'll probably get some form of like, Circuit Seal or whatever that could special summon a Circuit monster from deck. To me, that would be the smartest thing. And I think too, we need a way to special this guy from the deck. It's good at 3. You could play it at 2. Same with the Anubis guy, but I'm just trying to max out on consistency here, because if this is your deck's main normal summon, you want to max out on 3. And I typically, whenever I have a deck that has a main normal summon and a really decent special summon, I max out 3 and 3. So that's, kind of why I have those numbers. Guardian Slime is like your Spirited Neos-esque card. You get attacked, and then you can special summon him out if you take damage, and then you not link him away, but you fuse him away to summon this guy, and then he gets a Raw Search. So, pretty good. Can't really complain on that. we've got Treasures of the Kings, guys. This card right here, in and of itself, would have been nice if we literally only got this card because it's so good. When you activate this, you set an Apophis trap, and then after you set that, if you have another card, you can then search something that lists Temples of the King. So you could search the new Anubis, you can search the Scorpion, you can search the Man. Everything is pretty much, up for grabs. The True Sun God. The True Sun God is going to grab us. Typically when I do it in the combo, it's going to grab us this card, Ancient Chant. And I may kind of just showcase at the very end here, if there's enough time, I may just showcase you guys a simple like dry run of, what the deck's supposed to do using the raw stuff kind of as a catalyst. So it searches the Ancient Chant. This piece will later grab raw from your graveyard in order to return it to the field and then essentially OTK on, would that be your third turn, I think? Yeah, your third turn. So it does kind of make the game go longer, but your opponent won't really be able to beat you anyway because they're going to have to out the True Sun God. And a lot of people sleep on this card. I'm going to say this right now. A lot of people sleep on this card because they don't read that you cannot attack with special summon monsters the turn they are summoned if this card is on the field. This then has to get popped. They don't realize it, so you just keep all your negates to protect this guy. And, if they do realize it and they try to destroy it, you just use your negates to save him. If they don't realize it, then they can't attack. One Pot of Prosperity. My bad. I forgot to talk about Extravagance. Literally, you play 3 of it. Your extra deck is filled with, fluff. You only really need 3 monsters to do anything with. So, one reasoning as just a way to kind of get some of our traps in grave. Well, also if we need to use it as a way to try to special summon out Man with the Mask if we don't see it. Kind of just an extra piece. This is to add raw back from the graveyard. 1 Temple of the Kings. Your opponent's really not going to try to banish this often. If they do, they do. It kind of sucks. Sorry about that. But the other card becomes Temple of the Kings. Treasure of the Kings becomes Temple of the Kings, so it's really not that bad. I talked about Defense of the Temple, and I talked about Dangers of the Divine. This is just literally another copy of Treasures of the Kings, and this is just, hey, no Ash or no Droll. So, 3 copies of Apophis the Serpent. Now, this is one that I really want to talk about because you set it off of Treasures. You then activate it the same turn because of Temple of the Kings, and then you set this card. Okay, but when it gets destroyed, you can add this card. The OG embodiment of Apophis. So that is like really the only OG card I'm running besides Temple of the Kings. I've seen some decks that run the original circuit because they can distribute that, I think, and then Temple of the Kings and summon out any fusion monster. So that's a cool idea, and I think that if we didn't get stuff like sorry guys, Defense of the Temple, I think that would be really good. I would honestly include it, but I think the fact that we have Defense of the Temple, they can get us to Dangers of the Divine, they can get us to Raw, they can get us to a board wipe, they can get us to summoning out the Immortal Raw Phoenix mode, wiping our opponent's field, attacking for 4K, and then resetting our board, and then kind of goading our opponent into trying to get rid of the True Sun God, because if not, they can't do anything. And then we basically just win the next turn. So I'm going to show that setup after this. 3 copies of this guy because he is in negate. Enough said. And then I'm playing 2 of this. You could probably play 1, but I honestly just didn't know what to play for that last slot. So I said, whatever. I'm going to play 3 of that. Who cares? It's not like seeing a card in this deck that you can set is bad. So our choices here for extra deck, and then we're going to see the setup. So 3 copies of the Egyptian God Slime. It is what it is. I mean, we're playing 3 because, Pot of Prosperity. It's literally like essentially a Link 1 with Guardian Slime. You just, fuse it away. This helps reset your traps. I think 2 to 3 mandatory. You don't have to play it at 3, but since we're playing the Pot of Extravagance, it is really nice to kind of activate that and then still have him in the extra deck. We've got 3 copies of the Scorpion. You're really only going to see one of this if you play the deck the way that I play it. You're really only going to summon one. But again, it is just nice to have that third option if it gets sent off of Pot of Extravagance. And I don't care about the other cards. They literally don't matter. They're blanks. So this could be the rabbit that sets a trap monster. This could be whatever you want. It could be dangers, or sorry, not dangers. It could be nightmares. It could be literally anything that you want. So guys, we're gonna look at the setup real quick. And this setup that I've chosen is specifically Man with the Mark and a copy of, where is it at? The True Sun God. Now, this is not a combo video. We're going to discuss everything, but like this is just the bread and butter of what I made the foundation of the deck to be about. And yeah, let's start it off. So we got the Man with the Mark. Man with the Mark is going to get us treasures. We're going to activate the treasures. After we activate the treasures, we are going to set the Apophis, the Serpent. We're going to set the True Sun God. After we set, we're going to use this card's effect to search. We're going to summon out the Merciless Scorpion of Serket. And we have to banish this. So after we banish that, we're going to use this guy's effect to add the Temple. We then activate the Temple. And then we can activate traps the turn that they're set. We summon this guy. Set this card. Special him. Send these two to grave. Summon out the fusion monster to the link zone. Use his effect to reset these. And then from there, we're going to activate True Sun God. True Sun God's going to get us a copy of Ancient Chant. And then we're going to go ahead and end our turn. So during my opponent's turn, I'm going to activate this. That will set us another copy of Apophis. And then we have two negates. So then we just negate where needed. And then my opponent cannot attack because of the True Sun God. And then basically this is the setup. And then next turn, we use the Scorpion to go for Defense of the Temple. We activate that. We take the Scorpion and one of my opponent's monsters. We summon him out. He banishes something. We banish this from grave. We get a copy of Dangers. We go ahead and make another Divine. Just to kind of clear those off the board. We add the Dangers to our hand. We then use Divine's effect to reset these two. We then use the Dangers of the Divine to tribute a monster. It doesn't matter. Tribute that. Special summon the Raw. When the Raw is summoned, we target it, and then everything on the board gets sent to the graveyard when this card hits the graveyard. And then we can activate Treasure of the Kings. Since we have these two set, we can add up a copy of this guy, which will then pitch to get Man. We then normal summon the Man. Using the Man to get Verdict, we then set the Verdict. We activate the True Sun God to send this to grave since it can't attack. Summon this out. These two attack. That's for 5k. Now remember, this stops special summon monsters from attacking. This card is unaffected by card effects. And this was normal summoned. So that right there is 5k. We then, in the end turn, or end phase of the turn, this gets sent to the graveyard and we have to summon out this guy. We're going to summon him in defense just in case shit happens. We pass turn. Now, let me see my graveyard here. Okay. So now my opponent takes their turn. We try to stop them from doing literally anything. I mean, we have this negate. We have this that can special summon out. Or sorry, they can set this. So we have 1, 2, 3 negates. My opponent is going to probably try to destroy this. My opponent will try to destroy this, but can't because I have this. He may try to destroy this, but can't because I have this. They're going to try to go to battle phase, but forget that I have this. And let me just show you the final result. So let's say that, we use these guys as negates. We use this as a negate. And then this, I always save this one for last because this board wipes and then, does damage. So let's say this is our board. Okay, I'm not even going to pretend I draw. I've had this in the hand since the beginning of, I think, turn 1. So I activate the Ancient Chant. I get this. I then use this one's effect, tribute it off, summon out this. I then use the effect of the True Sun God to send this and this to the grave. Recover him. And where's he at? Recover him. And then I use his effect to just send my opponent's monsters to the grave. Sorry, guys. It's like a tickle in my throat. But you literally have 3 that you can send. And basically just flip everybody to attack. GG. That is the setup. It is so fun. If you want to see more, I'm going to put out a combo video after I go probably drink a glass of water here. Cypher Slagger out.